So welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to take you through carb cycling for muscle gain. Now, one of the common misconceptions with carb cycling is people think it's only for fat loss. Now, if you've been trying to build muscle before, you've probably been there like I have, where I tried to build muscle tissue and all I did was I got fat. And that's why we see people perma-bulking. People bulking all the time, they never actually get any bigger because all they do is just add body fat, take body fat off, add body fat, take body fat off. I don't want you to be that guy. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can carb cycle for muscle gain while staying lean. So we are going to bring up the whiteboard of justice, and I'm going to break this through in terms of how I would set this up for you to achieve maximal gains with minimal body fat gained. But before we begin, if you want to get a free copy of my 59 Fitness Myths guide, hit the link below this video and you can get 59 tips on mistakes not to make to accelerate your gains. Now, to explain this a little bit more, we previously did a video in terms of carb cycling for fat loss. Now, if you haven't watched that, head back and check that out because that will break down a lot of these things already and probably give some further understanding. Now, on that video, we talked about how we had a client, John. So John weighs 200 pounds from my ropey writing. And if John is looking to gain muscle tissue now, I would look to start him off at, say, for example, 2 grams of carbohydrates per pound of body weight. So we're going to give John, for example, 400 grams of carbohydrates on the day he's going to be working out. Now, how we're going to set up this carb cycling approach for optimal muscle gains and keeping body fat down is that we're going to split this up into 3 days initially. Now, on the fat loss video, so go and check that out, we did 2 days. We just simply had the training day diet, which is here. So we had a training day diet and we had a rest day diet. What we're doing in now is we're going to add in a high carb day, and I'm going to explain a little bit more what we can do with that and how we can actually utilize that. So on training days, John's going to have 400 grams of carbs. So that's nice and lots of food for him. And on rest days, what I'd always do on a rest day is I'd normally do 50% of the carbohydrates you would have on a training day. So on the rest day, you can have 200 grams of carbs. And then on the high carb day, this is where the real fun happens, we're going to do 800 grams of carbohydrates. So we're going to double again. Booyah. So he's looking to get jacked and get big. Now, what we're going to talk to is in terms of how you're going to split these up over the day. If you haven't, check out the previous video where I explained like meal timing and how to work that all out. But what I would look to do with this situation, if your carbohydrates are getting quite high, you're going to want to start pushing these really heavy around the workout window. So, for example, if you're doing 800 grams of carbohydrates, I'd probably be looking to take in intra-workout. So this would be during the workout in liquid, I'd be looking to do probably 100 grams of carbs. So for this, what I would do is I would use cyclic dextrin, which is a low molecular weight carbohydrate, which is going to mean that basically when your body's digesting that carbohydrate source, it's going to go straight into the bloodstream and not cause bloating. So the old adage your mum would have said to you when you were a kid, don't go swimming after eating when on holiday, is because when you eat food, blood gets pulled into your stomach. Now, what we don't want when we're working out and we're getting jacked is we don't want blood getting pulled away from our muscular system into our digestive system. We want the blood in the muscle, not the stomach, because otherwise it's going to compromise performance. So this is why we would use something like cyclic dextrin. On a high carb day, we're going to want to use quite a lot of that. So I'd lose probably 100 grams. And then the rest of this, I'd probably do pre and post workout. Post workout, I'd probably do like 200 grams of carbohydrates on the high carb day. And on the training day, again, you'd probably do 150. But that's generally the overall setup for a week. If you check out the previous video I did in terms of carb cycling for fat loss, it'll explain how to split this up in terms of specifics for meals more. You obviously just adjust the carbohydrate amounts. Now, when it comes to how do you then progress this on and why are we using an extra high carb day? So what we've got here is we've got 3 different varying amounts of carbohydrates in terms of our day, and our week, and this is going to cause a calorie cycle. So it's like train days, obviously day we're going to be lifting weights, rest days day we're not lifting weights. The high carb day, where do we put this, Charlie, I presume you ask? 2 things to think about. 1, do you have a lagging body part? So is there an area you want to focus on more? Because if there is, I would probably put it on this day, or I would have the high carb day on this day, or I'd have the high carb day the day before to replenish glycogen for then training that muscle group. The other thing I would look at is if you think about this from a very logical perspective, what is the the training session that's going to have the highest energy output and be the most difficult, provided you've taken out your tampon and you're actually training correctly. Drop it in the comments below if you know what it is, but it's going to be leg training. So leg sessions, you need to pull out your tampon, you need to try and actually work out pretty hard. You will have a higher demand of energy due to this. Just think about it. The biggest muscles in your body are in your legs. So therefore, we will burn the most calories. Therefore, logically, it makes sense on the day we have the highest demand for energy to have the highest amount of calories coming in to ensure we're in a surplus to be building muscle and building those gains. So what I would look to do initially with most people, if we're going into a lean gaining phase, and this is needed, we would then go into a training day, rest day, high carb day, do 1 high carb day a week. Now, how do we scale things up from here? We would look to increase the amount of carbohydrates you have within each meal and each day. And then what we would do from there is we would look to add in an additional high carb day. So say, for example, at the moment, we're going to train 5 days a week. So we're going to do 4 normal training days. We're going to do 1 high carb day. We're going to do 2 rest days. What you could then do is add in an extra high carb day. So you'd be doing 2 days at 800 grams of carbohydrates. You'd be doing 3 days at 400 grams. You'd be doing 2 days at 200 grams. Very, very simple approach to help you actually build muscle tissue while staying lean. And you add in the extra high carb days and the extra carbohydrates as you need to drive more progress in terms of building muscle tissue. So when would you look to add more carbohydrates or add an additional high carb day would depend on when your progress stalls. So 2 things I'd look at in this situation would be when your body weight is stagnant for maybe more than 2 weeks, isn't going up. Ideally, we probably want to be going up between 0.25 to 0.5 kilos per week. If you're American, use a scale and convert that because I'm not sure what that is in pounds. But that's generally what I'd be looking for to go up in weight myself. If you were stagnant for about 2 weeks, I'd probably nudge that up would be one thing. A second thing I would look at in terms of when you'd probably be a good idea to increase carbohydrates would be if you're actually feeling hungry. So if you feel you really, really genuinely want more food, you probably need to increase your carbohydrates a little bit. So that would be the second thing I'd look at. And then number 3 would be if training performance is stalling. So if you're not getting stronger in the gym and you are trying and you're making sure you're sleeping correctly, hydration and all the other variables are on point, then I would look to probably increase carbohydrates more by adding maybe more food into these days originally or adding in more high carb days. So this is a very simple approach for carb cycling for muscle gain while staying lean. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comments. Make sure you smash the like, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit on the notification to make sure you get more of this wonderful educational content I give away for completely free here from sunny Dubai. Hope you have an awesome day. Make sure you get the free copy of our 59 Fitness Myths guide, which will help you not to make mistakes this year. And we'll see you in the next video.